Hello, my friends. July 22, 2008. After spending a few days on different variants of the light bricks prototype that I talked earlier, which distracts my mind, I'm going to buy the missing sky piece to install behind the big electronic painting. After complete preparatory treatment, dismantling of the painting once again, gluing off artificial leather, fixing, reassembling, listening. It's better. But you have to wait until everything is dry. The next day, I realize an unpleasant shift in the sound behind me, with one side being annoying. Each time I succeeded in erasing a defect, another lighter one appears, masked by the most important one. The corridor parts behind my back are asymmetrical, so the flow comes from there. Of these sections of walls, in indirect reflections of the sound, I had only painted and varnished after having removed the two absorbing materials. To erase the slight hardness that persisted, I have experimented with several types of varnish. Just after applying them, it looked good, but when the drying was complete, the defect reappeared. So the varnish was not enough. I see only one solution: the sky. I'm going back to buy some, which means more glue, paint, varnish. It is effective, but a little discomfort persists. It is always behind in the corridor, in parts yet hidden. Risky, reconclusive. I managed to identify, after listening in strong concentration, in total darkness, the parasitic sound of the places where there is no sky, and I believe to find it in the main room on the cork. I've been trying to cover the gold squares and then the silver bands. The presence of the music increases. Eventually, I realized that I will have to cover all the spaces when I had removed the sky. In the end, I was right in using this material, but I had made the mistake of using the vitrifier on the bench. The surface became too hard and caused an unwanted sound. I didn't need this, of course, until everything was finished. That's what research is all about: doing, undoing, redoing. It is sure that my bank account will take a blind plunge into the red, but I am decided to go to the end of my quest, the end of my dream. I don't regret having to do it all over again. The sky plates that I had removed were very damaged, with all the successive tests. At least it will look better. On the other hand, I was not fully satisfied with the relationship between the painting and the room. Visually, the link was not as complete as I wanted. So I take advantage of these obligations to rethink the color relationship. After spending the month of August running around buying sky and other materials and gradually putting them in place, the look of the Extasium has changed. It's no longer a room and a painting, but a harmonious whole. One that enters the pictures or a room with a particular window door. The sound seems satisfactory. It will have been necessary to reach the 75th versions with many intermediate stages to achieve it. At least that's what I thought, because I will have to experiment with many more solutions for 10 years before I succeed. After September 9, 2008, the endless dance of do, undo, redo continued tirelessly, with the added bonus with the discouraging feeling of never succeeding. Each defect removed in the reproduction of the sound let appear a new one, more tenuous, more subtle, but unbearable as soon as it was identified. However, I was still making progress, which was confirmed by an ecstatic sensation that was greater and greater, quicker to reach and longer lasting. Disaster. On March 25, 2009, I realized that the acoustic panel fixed on the left door in the back clearance of the Extasium has come off and fallen on the floor. I had done this by gradually gluing various layers of materials as I went about my research. Now it has become too heavy and I can't put it back together. I need an immediate repair. All I can see are the nails. But remembering the madness of studio speaker stands, I hesitated a bit. No choice. I don't find any other solution. I have to go. I managed without difficulty to put it back in place by nailing it in place. Based on the previous experience, I covered the heads with a small squares of painted and varnished sky. I listened with appreciation to the outcome. Oh surprise! It sounds better than before. But I noticed a difference in the sound between the left and the right. To remedy this, I also nailed the panel to the opposite door to balance it. It is surprising. I had the feeling to be more immersed in the music. I figure if it works on the vibrating doors, the effect must continue on the door that framed Mr. E and Lady O. Immediately tried on a small part, but this time it is not good at all. Thinking about it, I understand why. These doors are covered with cork and sky, while doors in the back corridor also include a thick felt layer. The nails not only fix the panels, but also evacuate the sound wave that stagnates on the surface toward the back, allowing a filtered and diluted revelation. I was going to stick on the door's panel when, a few days later, on April 7, a ceiling panel in this back corridor came unhooked and in turn failed. It's made up in the same way, and I apply the same nailing methods. The effect produced is so concluded that I nail all the acoustic panels to the back, which gives the sensation of being surrounded by sound like in a real concert hall. I thus obtain the spatial sensation thought in the home cinema with the systems known as with 5 points, without complex equipment, expensive, difficult to install, and little satisfactory with only some nails. I tried different kinds of varnish, which proved to me that the sound was not the same depending on whether it was matte or glossy, depending on the quality and depending on where it applied it. I went so far as to treat the floor of the room that I had covered with a looped carpet with a dilute varnish. I had to apply 34 layers to realize that this was not the right solution. And what a timeless, in addition to the useless expenses. By dint of perseverance, I still managed to put it all together, and curiously, it was day for day, 37 years after I started this crazy endeavor, October 27, 2018. I recall that it was on October 27, 1981, that everything began when I found the drawing of the corridor of the infinite, the starting point of this long but exhilarating quest. My birthday. What a great gift. I realized that this was my mother's age when she died. I was 74 years old. That is 37 by 2. Since then, this number appears to me at times significant. This was the 93rd version of this magical room. The Extasium After the many experiences related to music following the master plan I discovered hidden in the book of Revelations, opened a door in my mind, allowing me to perceive, to feel something so extraordinary that I can only call it God, especially since he transmitted to me many revelations answering the great question that humanity is asking itself. What are we doing on earth? What is there after death? Why suffering? The structure of the universe? What does God look like?